Welcome to the Cryptonaut podcast. My name is Mark Storrs, and with me as always is
Chris Carnicelli.
And
Rob motherfucking Morphy.
Thank you all so very much.
I'm coming out on fire tonight.
Coming out hot.
Super hot.
Yeah, Rob's on fire.
Red hot.
Oh, man, bring it down. There's nowhere to go but down now.
That's true.
Wow,
That's true. I could take it to white hot, but why? I'm not going to go supernova. Not yet.
No.
All right. That was blue hot.
Yeah,
You got one level left. That's white.
This Rob is on fire. Thank you all for joining us. Oh, geez. I didn't want to announce this now, but I think I'm going to have to. My war on Christmas has started early.
Oh, shit.
I'm getting the lights up. I'm getting it done. It's not really so much a war as it's going to be like a peace treaty. I'm going to be like, I don't agree with this, but you know what? We're just going to get it done.
So the truce with Christmas is what's happening.
It's not really a war. I think it's more like an internal war that I have, but I can't physically project it. So I'm just going to begrudgingly put up lights and be like, there, it's done.
That's true.
Well, I feel like then you just lost because you put them up early.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, so maybe it's not a war.
I don't know how
it's an early surrender.
There it is.
Okay, an early surrender. This is my early.
That makes more sense.
You capitulated fully.
Yeah.
Out of the love for your wife, in all fairness.
I mean, in my heart, it's a war. In Slayer, War Ensemble is totally playing spot. It's totally happening.
I understand. Yeah,
it's
of
totally
course.
doing it.
You have a plan B in your mind, but you really don't.
I know. I do. Yes. You're right. I have this whole thing like built up in my
don't
mind.
worry.
Like,
I've got a plan.
It's going to happen. It's going to do this, and I'm just going to begrudgingly drink through this fucking holiday and just make it happen.
Hey, you're a dad. That's what they do.
That's what we
You should put
do.
M80s on all the lights and just light them fucking
could you
all
imagine?
up. People be like,
I spent so much time getting those goddamn hooks on the roof, though, because I got to do the entire thing of the house, and it's just like, Jesus.
Yeah, I'd hate that too.
Well, it is what it is. You got to dress the house up.
Though I do want a little black Christmas tree for the studio, or
yeah,
some
we should
weird
totally.
color, some off-color Christmas tree, because we got some sweet-ass ornaments we're going to discuss later.
I'm pretty sure they make like Krampus trees, like Krampus themed.
I think they do.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Totally.
I'm pretty sure.
What makes them Krampus themed?
Danger.
Knives.
Highly flammable.
Just chains and knives.
Sacks of babies.
Yeah, evil holly.
Sacks of babies. Comes with a sack of babies.
Sure,
So
why
there you
not?
go.
Yeah.
Geez. Patreon is a thing that we offer. Thank you to all of our Patreon supporters over there. Patreon.com/Cryptonaut Podcast. Robert, let's give some shout outs.
Beginning with Jay Smith.
Hell yeah, Jay. What up?
Anonymity is important. Well played. Alexander Frank.
Thank you so much, Alexander.
Jack Hickman.
What up, Jack?
Alex Bonham.
Yeah, Alex.
Vanessa Vovola and her son Desmond.
Oh, shit. What up?
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
What up, Vanessa? What up, Desmond? Thank you so much.
Joseph Crawford.
Oh, yeah, Joseph.
Vane Magpie.
Sweet name.
Aren't they all, though?
I love it.
Really, magpies? They're full of themselves.
They are.
Angela Jones.
Hell yeah, Angela.
Dalton Thomas.
Nice. Thank you.
Michael the Mindless Hunter Gleason.
Yeah, man. Bring it.
Dang.
Oh, what is he mindlessly hunting, I wonder? Does he have to keep his brain blank because the prey can read? And so if he's not like a wall, like the dude from fucking The Village of the Damned, where if you don't fucking
gets
put up
caught.
the brick wall in your mind.
Or is he hunting things called the mindless?
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh,
see?
The vacuous prey.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Michael Gleason. Hunt well.
Explain.
Hunt gloriously and explain. Moving on. Wesley Pierce.
Yes, and actually Wesley is in this awesome fucking thrash band called Angel Flesh, and he sent me the link on Spotify, and I checked it out real quick, and I was like, holy fucking shit, these guys are great. So
Dope.
if you're
I'll
on
check it out.
Spotify, check it out, Angel Flesh. They fucking thrash.
Oh, I love thrash
Fucking
metal.
dope,
So
yeah.
fuck yes, I will check that out.
Definitely. Thank you
Rock
all.
on Wesley and rock on all.
Thank you all for your continued Patreon contributions.
bless ya.
And yes, this week we are going a little bit outer spacey here, Rob.
We are a smidge.
We got some pictures. We are going to include them on the Instagram, and we're going to link to them in the description of the show notes, which is so always check there. If it's not on the Instagram, always check there. We get them all set up and whatnot. But this week we were talking about the Ilkley Moor alien.
We are. It's a classic. I mean, it is a stone classic of potential evidence of alien interaction. And it's controversial, and it's dangerous, just like the Krampus tree.
I love it.
It is dangerous.
Maybe not so dangerous, actually.
Okay.
All right, there's nothing dangerous about it, but it's interesting, and I'm very excited.
All right, well, let's get started with a single grainy photograph of a bizarre, gangly quasi-humanoid figure is the only evidence that remains of one of Great Britain's most notorious and controversial alien abduction cases.
Facts and science.
Grainy photo, you don't say.
Yeah.
I mean,
grainy photo.
We're used to smooth digital brilliance.
Clarity. Yes.
We've been doing this long enough
Unbelievable.
that if there actually was a clear, like, 4K picture, we wouldn't believe it.
Oh, no.
We'd be
Absolutely
like, oh,
not.
that's clearly fake.
100%
So,
not.
I guess
Like,
grainy
No, the
was better.
greatest evidence you can get now would be not believable because it's
because you
Yeah.
would,
too good.
how could you?
Exactly.
yeah.
And in all fairness, this is the late 80s, so tech wasn't there, and we'll explain why it's grainy, too.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Smothered in misty peat bogs, scrub brush, and ancient stony outcroppings covered in enigmatic etchings dating either from the late Neolithic or the Bronze Age, Ilkley Moor is a sinister swath of isolated, fog-shrouded landscape that seems as if it were culled directly from the masterfully hewn pages of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's The Hound of the Baskervilles, my favorite Sherlock Holmes book. I think a lot of people feel that way.
It's a good
the
story.
closest he ever
Yeah.
came to fighting a monster. It wasn't. It was Scooby-Doo.
Of
but
course,
it was
it's
still...
always Scooby-Doo, yeah.
And Peter Cushing was in the movie, and Christopher Lee. I mean, one of the many adaptations.
Nice.
Regardless. And much like the mist-strewn acreage that the fictional Holmes skulked across in search of that aforementioned demonic hound, Ilkley Moor is known to harbor more than its fair share of sinister secrets, arcanum that go far beyond mysterious markings on antediluvian rocks. For decades, this mysterious locale has been the site of all manner of reported paranormal activity, from UFO sightings and spectral lights to terrifying run-ins with supposedly supernatural beasts. And in the waning years of the 1980s, a former police officer named Philip Spencer would discover firsthand just how strange a stroll across Ilkley Moor could be. The event in question began in the pre-dawn hours of December 1st, 1987. Spencer, who had at his wife's request recently retired from a 4-year stint with the police force and moved his family to the Yorkshire region in order to be closer to her family, was making his way across the gloomy moor en route to his father-in-law's home, which was just one village over.
Why would you walk this?
Anyone who's seen American
Fucking
Werewolf
Moors.
in London
Like,
knows.
every week we have to talk about
Every
this.
week we have to you stay on the
God
path.
damn it.
You take the roads.
Have a car.
Exactly.
A
Bike.
a bike.
A moped.
A moped.
A Vespa. You're in
Anything.
Europe, technically.
Why would you walk?
Across the goddamn moor.
Yeah, all right, well.
You know what happens? Exactly what's going to fucking happen. An avid photography buff, Spencer was carrying a camera that was loaded with a high ASA-rated film to compensate for the notoriously bleak lighting in the area. The ex-cop was also armed with a compass, which he used to navigate through the murky, often fog-strangled moor. Spencer's run-in with the unknown would be as unexpected as it would be life-changing. As he lined up a shot of the rolling hills before him, the officer abruptly spied a strange shape lurching down the path not far away. Before he had a chance to ascertain exactly what it was that he was looking at, Spencer shifted his focus, and that's when he realized he was staring through his lens at a bizarre being quite unlike anything he had ever seen before. This enigmatic entity was approximately 4 feet in height with a massive twin-lobed head, large black eyes, and what appeared to be pointed ears. Its eerily distended left arm seemed to extend all the way to the ground, while it held its much shorter right arm akimbo. The thing's legs looked proportional, but appeared to be far too short for its body, with no apparent knees and rounded nubs for feet, though the photo made them difficult to discern. In all fairness,
Yeah,
it's
this
hard
thing,
to see the
it
feet.
just sounds awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The picture
Like,
isn't-
your
no.
description makes it that much worse.
And we're going to get an even clearer description
Oh, God.
from the eyewitness. The creature seemed to be encased in a mottled bluish-green epidermis and, based on its body structure, almost certainly employed an awkward, semi-ape-like tripodal style of locomotion quite unlike any known animal. There are those who insist that the crooked creature resembled a typical gray alien, but in truth, it looks more like an animate variation of the kidnapped, bulbous-headed Martian prince Tugual from the criminally underrated Mexican 1960 sci-fi feature, one of my fucking favorites, Ship of Monsters, which is a stone classic, and I highly recommend everyone watch it. It's free on YouTube with subtitles.
Dang,
it's
all right.
phenomenal. That having been said, either way, it was a creature that did not belong on Ilkley Moor or anywhere else on Earth. Instead of succumbing to shock, the recently retired lawman steadied his nerves and snapped a photo, which would soon become one of the most intriguing images in the annals of modern ufology. Later, Spencer would claim that the ostensibly alien creature seemed to be making gestures intended to frighten him away, but he was not to be so easily intimidated. At this point, the unusual creature turned and began to hightail it out of there, but the courageous, or foolhardy as the case may be, Spencer sprinted in pursuit of this mysterious beast. He would later claim that he had no idea what specifically motivated him to take that course of action, but one can assume that he was likely just reacting as he would have in pursuit of a dangerous criminal during his brief tenure in law enforcement. And it is pretty brief. I mean, it might have been dangerous. He might have been shot. I can
guess,
understand
yeah,
that.
4 years.
I don't know if I would want a loved one to be an officer because, you know, you're constantly wondering if you're going to get the call, the knock on the door, the chief's there, you know, the priest is next to him. There's a doctor with like fucking, I don't know. I was about to say laxatives, but like Valium.
What?
So you can shit your sorrow away, clearly.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Relaxatives.
Sedatives.
We all mourn differently. So
Yeah.
if you got to shit your sorrow away, so be it. Who am I to judge?
I've probably done more crying in a bathroom than any other room.
I mean, we all have.
Yeah.
But that's a
Well,
different
but there's
discussion.
not much. I mean,
privacy,
they're
though.
shitting, they're showering.
Yeah.
Shit crying, you know.
Shit crying. Yeah.
I don't know if this is the correct
Shit
format
puking,
for our emotional
crying.
delve into.
Hey, that's what
shit
friends
crying.
do. We find the time to share, regardless of the
Yeah.
forum.
All right, we all cry in the bathroom. Whatever, it's okay.
The surprisingly swift being disappeared over the crest of the hill with Spencer in hot pursuit. He claimed that he reached the peak just in time to witness what he described as a domed craft with a whitish square atop it ascend from the moor into the atmosphere at such a startling rate of speed that he was unable to take even a single picture. The shaken Spencer began the half-hour walk to the nearest village, cursing the fact that he had been unable to capture the UFO on film. But if he was working under the assumption that the strangeness of the day was over, then he would be sadly mistaken. When he arrived at the village, the observant Spencer noticed two things. Firstly, the clock that loomed over the village central was 2 hours ahead of his watch. It read 10 o'clock when it should have been 8, according to him. And secondly, his compass had somehow reversed itself and was now pointing south when it should have been indicating north. Perplexed, Spencer hopped the first bus he could to the closest town that he knew of that harbored an instant photo developing lab. And in 1988, maybe it was, well, nothing digital, so that's what you had to do. He, with what one must assume was great trepidation, handed his potentially earth-shattering roll of undeveloped film to the proprietor of the lab and proceeded to wait for the results. And what results they were. As soon as he received the photographs, Spencer rifled through them and discovered to his relief that he'd indeed managed to capture the likeness of the unusual creature that he had encountered on the moor just hours before. In the wide shot of the hilly moor, the figure appeared to be little more than a grainy splotch of scrub, but once enhanced, something astonishing was revealed. Spencer knew that his photograph was imperfect, but he also knew that his experience had been real and that he had in his possession evidence of what may well be an extraterrestrial life form. But even with such an incredible image, he was, understandably, unsure of exactly what to do with it. And that's something I can identify with. You get something like that. I mean, now you got the internet. You post it or you do whatever.
Yeah.
But back then, you're like, the fuck? It didn't take him long, however, to decide that he would put the mystery into the hands of a man better qualified than himself to handle it. To that end, he finally managed to track down an author and UFO investigator by the name of Peter Howe. It might be Hoff. I know that's like how the Brits fucking pronounce Van Gogh.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But I'm an American, so I'm just going to call him Howe.
All right.
To whom he related his strange tale of the ambling alien, then showed him the soon-to-be notorious and immensely controversial image. Howe, as any investigator of the unknown must be, was duly skeptical of the image and the too-good-to-be-true story that accompanied it. But after hearing the retired constable's account from his own lips, Howe was convinced that Spencer was not a crackpot or a ufological treasure hunter. Trusting his gut instincts, he agreed to undertake the investigation. Howe swiftly learned that Spencer was a man of integrity who sought neither fame nor fortune. His single goal seemed to be to find out if there was a rational explanation for what he'd seen and photographed on Ilkley Moor. To that end, Howe decided to cover all the conventional angles first and took the image to a local wildlife photography expert. Not surprisingly, the expert was unable to identify the creature as anything indigenous to the area. In fact, he'd never seen anything like it. Unable to ascertain if the object in the image was merely a posed model or some sort of animate entity, as Spencer claimed, Howe then attempted to recreate the photo, but the only thing that could be established from this experiment was that the object in the image was approximately 4.5 feet in height. So at least the scrub was still the same. It was done within a week or so,
Right.
I assume. So there it is. Howe's next step was to send the photo to Hemel Hempstead, a town in Hertfordshire, located just 24 miles northwest of London, where the Kodak laboratories were located. Their analysis confirmed that there had been no photographic trickery and that the creature, whatever it was, had not been superimposed on the image. Nevertheless, its origin remained a mystery.
They brought it all the way to Kodak.
They brought it to Kodak.
The Kodak.
Just to make sure.
From Rochester, New York. They're like, here you go.
Originally,
boom. There
yeah.
you go.
Oh, the
Wow.
Kodak Theater. We've seen some cool shit
yeah.
there.
Yeah, it's dope.
Oh, man.
All right, well, Kodak's like, yeah, you just got a fucked up ET.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Howe then sent the picture to U.S. Navy optical physicist and noted UFO scholar Dr. Bruce Maccabee.
Oh, what up, Bruce Maccabee?
A name we all know well.
Yeah.
Despite his expertise and computer enhancement analysis, Maccabee conceded that, quote, the slow film speed used for the low light conditions made the film too grainy for proper testing, adding, I had great hopes that this case would prove definitive. Sadly, circumstances prevent it from being so.
Aw, really?
I know. That's a suck.
Bummer.
That, you know,
That's a suck.
You get Maccabee on the job, you're like, all right, you're gonna tell me it's a goddamn alien, right? Come on, Bruce. Come on, Bruce.
No lighting.
But he's gonna be legit. And so the slow film, the grainy image,
penetrates the shield.
there it is.
All right.
Okay.
Ah!
I don't know how film works.
Yeah. Some who studied the picture swore that they could make out a white square on the rise, exactly where Spencer claimed that the landed UFO had been. Even among those that were convinced that the photo depicted a genuinely paranormal event, vigorously debated that portion of the photo. I've seen the bigger photo. I don't know if I've seen a good copy of it. I can't see the goddamn square. Who the fuck knows?
This is like
but
one
I'm
of
not
those-
looking at an original thing.
Like one of those weird sailboat tricks. You got to look at the weird picture and be like, do you see it?
Oh, magic
Do you
eye?
see it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
possible.
yeah.
Yeah.
At this point, Howe decided to check out the compass that had allegedly switched polarity due to its proximity to the UFO or perhaps the entity itself. Though the investigator confirmed that the device had been exposed to a powerful magnetic field, there was no way of knowing what caused it to occur. The device was brought to the University of Manchester's Institute of Science and Technology, who examined it and came to the conclusion that there were only two ways that this could have happened. Either the compass was inside a very strong magnetic field from a magnet, or had been subjected to a rapidly applied magnetic field or pulsed magnetic field generated by enormous amounts of electricity, something, at least based on my limited research, that does not occur in the natural world. So,
Right.
Yeah, that'd be kind of weird to...
But either way, magnets
magnets.
of some sort.
100%
Magnetic
magnets.
Yeah.
fields.
There you go.
Next, Spencer convinced another local university to conduct tests to see if they could find any traces of radiation at the scene of the encounter, but nothing above normal background radiation was found. Spencer then agreed to endure a battery of psychological tests to see if he suffered from mental illness or was a pathological liar. Following the tests, the unnamed psychologist claimed that, in his expert opinion, the witness was telling the truth as he knew it.
This guy's got a lot of resources to
Okay.
investigate this
Yeah.
shit. Like, this is kind of crazy.
Like, he's calling down universities left and
he's
right.
got Kodak
Yeah.
on the phone.
And they're
like-
just doing it. So
Yeah.
either he's independently wealthy or he has a super good reputation.
I mean, they must have a reason to believe him or, you know...
or he can afford to pay.
Well, if he's paying them, then yeah. Which if you're telling your wife that you're spending your 40-year police pension on your UFO investigation, she ain't gonna be happy.
Well, I think it's Howe doing all of it, not Spencer.
It'd be Howe. Okay, no, that makes sense. All right.
Spencer just turned that shit over, and he's like, no, he just called up Howe. And was like, dude, this is what happened.
Right.
And I was like, all right, let's see.
Investigate.
It makes sense. Howe has the funding.
Clearly, he's like the Tom Slick there. Who's the guy that financed all the Yeti expeditions and got Jimmy Stewart to like smuggle out a Yeti bone from fucking Tibet? Yeah. It's all legit. His name is Slick. It might be Tom Slick. I don't know. But he was like a millionaire that financed all like Peter Burns' fucking chasing of the Yeti and then Bigfoot. And then they used to go party together and womanize and do all sorts of millionaire bullshit and then fucking spend a bunch of money on cryptozoology.
I mean, it's like Bigelow. There you go.
Yeah, no doubt.
Jesus Christ.
It's fucked up. Anyway.
All right, weird.
Meanwhile, as debate surrounding the authenticity of the Ilkley Moor alien raged on, Spencer began suffering from a perplexing series of dreams in which he was staring out at a star-filled expanse of space.
Not good.
He was also tormented by what might have occurred during his missing 2 hours following his cryptic encounter on the desolate moor.
Sometimes you gotta just let that shit go.
Sometimes, yeah.
This guy be like, look, my life's gonna be worse if I dig into this.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
assuming
right.
he didn't stop.
I mean, I would hate to be haunted by not knowing, but then again, I don't know. I mean, I have missing time in terms of blackouts.
Yeah,
like
for
fucking,
sure.
like 6 Long Island iced teas. Fuck the world. I don't know what happened for a day and a half.
Yeah.
And then I have to apologize to a lot of people, and I guess I fell in love with one of them, and it worked for a while. But anyway, yes.
I think I was there for that actually.
Yeah. Oh my God. That kind of missing time I get. The kind of missing time where you're just walking down the street, you look at your watch, it's 9:33. You look again, it's 12:45, and you're like,
yeah, I don't know what that.
I've only walked 10 minutes.
Fucking daylight savings, man. Get
There
you
it
every
is.
time.
Every fucking
That's why.
time.
I'm like, I don't even know what time it is or where I am, but the sun's down. I'm going to bed.
That
Peace
shit
out.
might haunt me though.
I don't know.
But then again, there's part of you that's like, all right, I feel all right. Things are okay. Nobody missed me. Maybe I'm just going to let this one go.
Sometimes you have to for the betterment of yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But thank God most people don't. Or, well, probably most people do. Thank God some people don't. Because that gives us shit to talk about.
True. Right.
Like now.
Yeah.
As was so often the case in missing time scenarios, Howe suggested that Spencer undergo, guess what?
Oh no, our favorite hypnotic regression.
Hypnotic regression. What a surprise.
The fun never starts.
Where the truth is not there.
Oh, this poor guy. All right.
Well, as I said, when we were talking to like Derek when we guest shotted there on the Monsters Among Us Patreon, I do think that some truths can be eked out through the hypnotic process. I do not believe it is a fully reliable way to get untainted testimony.
Right.
But I understand that if you have no other options, you need to break through some sort of psychological barrier that might have been instilled by an interdimensional / extraterrestrial being, that you got to do fucking something. And I guess the swinging watch, the pinwheel, spindles, the fucking vegetable man's eyes is the way to go.
The pinwheel always kind of fucked me up.
Well, if you stare at it long enough, you will get nauseous.
Yeah, and I have a super queasy stomach. And
yeah.
So yeah.
So anyway, we all know it's shade stew.
All right. Well, let's dig in.
Okay. So Howe suggested that Spencer undergo hypnotic regression in order to unlock the memories of those lost hours. He agreed, and on the evening of March 16th, 1988, Spencer, Howe, and journalist Matthew Hill arrived at the home of ufologist Arthur Tomlinson. They were met there by Dr. Jim Singleton. Hill set up 3 tape recorders. I don't know why you need 3, but okay. And Dr. Singleton conducted the session under the observation of Howe, Hill, and Tomlinson. And what was revealed was nothing short of astounding. Here are Spencer's exact words regarding the event, excerpted from a transcript of that session. Quote, "I'm walking along the moor. Oh, it's quite windy. There's a lot of clouds. Walking up towards some trees, I see this little something. Can't tell, but he's green. It's moving up towards me. Oh, I'm stuck and I can't move, and the creature's still coming towards me. I'm stuck and everything's gone fuzzy. I'm floating along in the air. I want to get down."
Okay.
So you're stuck in time.
I'm stuck and floating.
And now you're floating.
Okay.
And this fucking thing,
Why?
this fucking weird ass, outtake from a Mexican fucking horror film from the 1960s is walking down the path right at you while you're glued to air and hovering.
Okay.
Spencer explained to those present that he had spontaneously begun to levitate 2 feet off of the ground while the seemingly sinister entity began pulling him closer as if he were a human balloon tethered to an invisible string.
Ah, human balloon.
He's just, can you see this long arm fuck all just pulling air towards you and you just start drifting towards it?
Yeah.
Like
dude.
in no control of your body?
This might be a fight or fuck scenario.
100%.
You're going to have to do one of the two.
The aliens
I don't
get
think
laid.
you're having a choice. You can't move. You're just floating.
If you, as soon as you get close to him, you got to shoot your shot. You got to figure it out.
You can't do anything. You're stuck.
Yeah, what, punch or seduction?
Not bad, actually.
Yeah.
I like that. Punch or seduction. Works out.
All right. Spencer continued, breathing faster, voice panicky. Quote, I still can't get down and I don't like it. I'm going around this corner and this green thing is in front of me. Oh God, I want to get down. There's a big silver saucer thing. There's a door in it and I don't want to go in there. No. All sentiments I can agree with.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
100%.
Totally.
At this point, Spencer exhaled a sigh of what might have been resignation to his fate. He seemed somewhat pacified at this point. He spoke again. Quote, everything's gone black now. I can't see anything, like I'm asleep. Can't hear anything. He briefly paused. There's a bright light now. Can't see where it's coming from. I'm in a funny sort of room. I can hear this voice saying, don't be afraid. I don't feel afraid anymore. I can still see this green thing, but I'm not afraid anymore of it. I'm being put on a table. I can move now if I want to, but I don't feel frightened anymore, and there's a beam like a pole. It's above me. It's moving up toward me. It's got a light in it like a fluorescent tube. It's coming up to my feet. I can hear that voice again saying, we don't mean to harm you and don't be afraid. So again, this classic trope in alien abduction, that instant pacification, that not laxative, but sedative, that like telepathic sedative that they can get. Wouldn't it be talk about a technological thing? Like, fuck Ativan or Paxil or whatever fuckers need to take, and I understand completely.
Yeah.
Like, if you could just get like a telepathic impulse that was just like, hey dude, this interview is going to be great, or whatever's going to happen, don't shit your pants, it's going to be cool.
Not even if you can just get like Dracula voice that worked.
Oh, like
you
the
can buy
mesmer?
Oh, yeah,
just
there
be
you
like,
Right.
simmer down.
Yeah. Everything's cool.
Feel better.
You're about to go in for major surgery. Dude, don't worry. The doctor's
My dope
great.
Dracula.
That was a phenomenal.
Calm yourself. Oh, you
Oh,
like
that's
that?
not bad. That's at least
Calm
horror
yourself.
host
Calm
caliber.
yourself.
Oh, Count Marcula.
Oh, coming at you.
There it is.
Sundays at midnight.
Oh my
Here I
God.
am.
Oh, Simmer Dad. That's going to be our new Patreon.
What's that?
Simmer
You just
Dad.
talking in Dracula, doing calming
Welcome
phrases.
to Patreon.
That's the next tier.
All right, perfect. It's coming
Oh
out
my
soon.
God.
Watch out for it.
At this point, Spencer described feeling a sensation of warmth emanating from the roving tube of light as it slowly moved up his body. He closed his eyes to avoid being blinded, then just as suddenly as it had appeared, the light was gone. Then he felt a strange, quick pressure as if something was being inserted in his nose. Then that pressure was gone. But yeah, that's yuck. The next thing the constable knew, he was on his feet, though he had no recollection of standing. He noticed an opening in the room that was not there before, and an array of greenish creatures were beckoning him to join them.
It's like an office party. All right.
Yeah, no doubt. Spencer resisted, believing that his current fearless state was somehow connected to the examination room, but eventually capitulated, describing what happened next. Quote, I'm walking towards a door. There is still a bright light. There is light all around. I want to know where it's coming from. It's just bright all around. So I can understand that. Like that's another thing that you see often in alien encounters where people are brought aboard, like this grand illumination that comes from no discernible source.
It's the Apple Store. You walk into the Apple
It's an Apple Store.
Yeah, and you're like,
Oh, I
Where
hate
am
it
I?
so much.
Thankfully, they've recently changed their design where you're just not walking into what looks like purgatory, and there's just two people in the corner.
Is there color?
Yes, there is color. And there's like nice wood tables now. And there's like a kids play area.
Do you have to still call wizards and make appointments?
yeah,
the
no
wizard
doubt.
can...
what do they call it? The Genius Bar, right?
Yes.
Make an appointment with a genius,
Yeah.
I think it is. They probably don't call them geniuses anymore. I think wizards actually would be way cooler.
Absolutely.
Like, I need an apple wizard. And the guy
I have
just
an
shows up.
appointment with Wizard Robert at 7 p.m. Really?
Yeah, really.
All right, back to our story.
I'm just staring you down like it's your fault.
Hey.
Chris is just staring at my MacBook.
Phil Spencer
Hate it.
is in the Apple Store in space, 1988 prototype, and he walks down the corridor and he sees a window. It was at that moment that, to his horror, Spencer came to the realization that the craft he was aboard was hovering in the vast, abysmal darkness of space.
Oh, shit.
You can tell by my description that makes me a little nervous to be in space. Like, I love space. I love the idea of space travel. I love the
Yeah, but
idea of
it's
space
dangerous.
No, I do
exploration.
too. I don't want to be in it.
No,
Yeah, but
it's
it's full
dangerous.
of cosmic radiation and tiny little bullet meteors that'll fucking end 13 astronauts' life with one ping.
There's a vacuum. There's cold.
Oh, yeah, it's just a nightmare.
You're gonna
It's a Lovecraftian nightmare.
all of your stuff's gonna come out of your body.
all
and
in a
explode.
heartbeat. Yeah,
You can
everything's
freeze.
sucked out of every
Yeah,
orifice.
I don't like space.
But
man.
I love it as an idea.
Yeah, no, I'm not here.
But it's terrifying.
Yeah.
He continued in a stunned tone. Oh God, is that real? He sighs deeply, his voice still fearful. I don't want to be up here. I want to be down there. I can hear the voice again saying that you've got nothing to fear. Suddenly, Spencer's entire demeanor softens. It's pretty, he says, though I didn't realize it looks so pretty. So he goes from being terrified, like I would be,
Yeah.
to
To
that placating
enjoying
voice again, like,
space.
you know, when you're in the stars are as pretty as stars.
He got a Picard speech and now he loves
Yeah,
it.
he did. He totally did. Spencer then claimed that he got his first good look at these apparently benign beings who he reported only stood as tall as the top of the bulge in his belly.
Okay.
So I'm guessing it's about 4 foot. The witness confirmed that the creatures had a dark green complexion and sported big eyes and large pointed ears. He added that their mouths were tiny and that they had no apparent nose. Spencer went on to note that their hands were extremely large, complete with 3 plump fingers that he compared to sausages. He also mentioned that both arms were incredibly long, unlike the initial picture, which seems to show
Just
one
one.
stubby and
Yeah,
one
right.
long, and that the creatures seemed to shuffle rather than walk on V-shaped feet that consisted of 2 big toes.
Okay.
Demonic hooves.
I don't agree with the shuffling. There's just no way. Shuffling is not a proper form of locomotion. You're just gonna ruin your floors and your feet.
Yeah, but what if you? Well, if you're designed like that,
Yeah,
and what if
but
you come
you
from
have no choice.
like a place where the gravity is different, and maybe they hop on their home world or dimension. Maybe that it's like 1/10 of what it is here, and little shuffle bounce of feet are exactly what you need.
They have to go slow because the gravity's they're
Yeah.
they're barely holding
They're
on.
barely
Mark.
holding on.
Fuck's sake! What a
Goddamn,
dick.
they're all balloons.
Maybe I bring my own bias towards this because when people shuffle, I'm like, pick up your fucking feet. But that's just me.
Yeah, no,
Well,
people
'cause-
kick,
yeah.
and they create static electricity vortices that sting all of us at some point. We've all been touched by an asshat who shuffles, and then it's like zzz.
Yeah. Yeah.
So no, fuck shuffling.
it's not cool, man. Fucking pick your feet up your knees there for a reason. Use them.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Dad
you should-
talk.
Hey,
Jeez.
these things don't even have knees based on what we've seen.
All right.
So
fine.
are you really going to condemn them for 2-toe shuffling when
Nah,
that's their
you know,
fucking
I
thing?
think maybe you're right. I think maybe something to do with the gravity, and this is just how they're currently, dealing with the vacuum of space.
True that.
Maybe their ship doesn't have a I don't know, gravity well. Is that a thing? Right.
Sure.
A gravity.
Perfect. I'm just making shit up. Whatever.
No, it's sci-fi phrase. If
Yeah,
you want to
no-
use just like sci-fi lingo
Yeah.
that means
I
nothing.
mean, that's
do
their
it.
warp
Someone
drive. They
turn
have a
on the
mini
gravity well.
Yeah.
Where?
That's how I got sucked to the floor.
Now we
Hear
gotta
that sound?
shuffle. Now we
It's
gotta
a
shuffle.
perfect sound.
Now
Now
we
we
gotta
gotta shuffle.
shuffle. Now we
Shuffle
gotta
around.
shuffle.
Gravity
Shuffle.
well's on. Start shuffling, fuckers.
It's off. Walk.
Oh God! Use your knees.
It's time to use your goddamn knee.
Maybe they don't have knees.
Maybe they don't. It's true.
Oh, they do have stumpy ass little legs.
They do.
Based on the photograph.
They sound adorable. The photograph is horrible.
Yeah.
But they sound adorable here.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
They got big sausage fingers, and there's like kind of crazy fucking looking eyes.
They kind of remind me. Do you remember the aliens at the beginning of Night of the Creeps? They were like these stumpy. They look like Cabbage Patch Kids as filtered through. I don't know, like nightmare voodoo dolls.
Yeah,
but they're the ones that like threw the evil one threw the slugs to Earth that caused the zombie plague or whatever. That's kind of it. Like that kind of like waddling kind of.
I mean, these things just sound kind of like a fucking super gnarly version of E.T.
Yeah, it's fair.
It's kind of like with the big loby eyes and shit, and
they might be cute.
Could be.
All right.
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by MyBookie. From all the biggest games to the smallest events, make every bet worth your while with MyBookie. You can start by doubling your first deposit instantly with MyBookie's first deposit bonus. Double your money before you even place a bet, and all you have to do is sign up and deposit using our exclusive promo code
$, all one word.
That was my son. He is a child. He is helping me with this ad at MyBookie. All right, so coming up, we have the KC and the Dallas Cowboys game. KC seems to implode this season. I'm not really quite sure what's happening there, but real quick football talk. Charles, as a Green Bay Packers fan, that last game with KC, your thoughts, please.
We did awful because we did not have Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, that could quite possibly get controversial, but don't wait any longer. Head to MyBookie today to redeem your double deposit bonus so you can get in the game and start winning today. And remember, that's promo code $, all one word, to receive double your first deposit instantly in your account. No hassle and no wait. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.
The creatures then escorted him into a large round room and stood him on a raised platform against the wall. It was then that Spencer came into contact with a ball-like being with what he describes as quote-unquote blocks on it. Though it's difficult to discern from the hypnotic testimony, it seems as if the ball was pulling at Spencer's compass and camera with some sort of magnetic force. So this ball with blocks, I have no idea what that means.
You don't either.
Strange.
Comes out of the fucking wall or whatever, and it's just sucking at his shit while he's standing on a platform.
Okay.
All right.
Evidently unable to relieve him of his possessions, the ball told Spencer and his escorts that they couldn't stay in the room any longer. Whether that was petulance or a warning of actual danger can only be guessed at. That's when the witness noticed that the round entranceways weren't permanent fixtures, but odd apertures that could open and close at any point within the walls. So you got a bunch of sphincters just
okay
everywhere you go. It's efficient. Every room's
I guess
every room has a door. Every wall is a door. Every portal's a hallway.
They literally have asshole door technology.
That's what I'm thinking.
You're saying? Awesome. Cool.
That's how I imagine it. No one specifically said it. But this clearly is the point where the compass got fucking magnetized.
Okay. Yeah.
I would assume.
If it was pulling at it.
Yeah.
If it happened, yes, we understand that there's other options and we will discuss them. But presuming all of this testimony is accurate, even with the caveat that it's under hypnotic regression, this seems to be the point where he encountered the fucking magnet that fucked his compass.
All right.
Without delay, Spencer was taken through an opening that led into another inexplicably brilliant corridor. He was then escorted into an empty room by two of the large craniumed critters and exposed to a wall of what he called moving pictures, depicting starving Ethiopians, his words, and the damage that human beings were perpetrating on Earth via pollution and toxic waste. An apparently endlessly repeating trope of alien abductions.
Yeah, we just talked about this.
Aerial aliens, yes. And
It's like, see, look what you're doing.
Every time.
Jerk.
It's nuclear explosions. And what makes sense to me in that context is either A, they give a fuck. B, it's a distraction and they have some other agenda altogether. C, like in the Dubno abduction reports, Earth is a great hard drive for the cosmos, and they're like, you fucking termites don't get to fuck this up for the rest of us. And or I guess D, they are alternate dimension beings that are actually sharing this world, and things like atomic blasts and pollutions can somehow slip through the veil that we love to talk about, that Chris loathes so much, and I understand, and somehow corrupt their levels of reality. So they're like, you guys are fucking it up for all of us.
Well, sure, but that still then brings the other question of why random person.
Yeah,
or
sure.
Why random farmer?
Why not the head of Exxon
Right.
and petrol
Somebody
and
that
chemical
could
companies?
change the thing that they're doing. And second, why block the memory out of this?
After you teach them this lesson.
Yeah, there seems to be like
And
standard
there's
protocol.
more to that. They always manage to block out not the encounter. They always remember the encounter,
Yeah, they
which
see
leads
the UFO,
to the regression.
They remember landing.
Like if you can get the whole abduction wiped, but you can't get the encounter.
It's always the
wiped?
message. They take the message out.
Right?
It makes no sense.
Like they give the message, they take it out. You guys are absolutely right. And here's the fuck all, as Chris just pointed out, they still let you remember that part. You would think they have the technology to completely wipe. Like we should all be abductees. We've all been probed. We've all had our genetics played with. We've probably all been pregnant with alien fetuses at one point. All genders, all the time. And yet none of us remember. But that's not how it fucking works.
Yeah.
It's like they're just being dicks. It's a complete dickhole move
Yeah, it doesn't
to
make
like
sense.
just let you remember enough to haunt you, but not enough to engage you. And they tell you to tell people about it when they know you're going to look like a fucking asshole in this culture. And then you get in trouble. And then they always promise to come back, and they never fucking do. UFO knots are fucking jerks.
Yeah, and they have an awful PowerPoint presentation that's just
Always
depressing.
that depresses you and
It's
terrifies
super-
you.
Yeah, it makes no fucking sense.
The kids at Ariel School got mind blasted by the Alice Cooper aliens that were fucking running around saying, technology is terrible. The world's going to fall apart. All the trees are going to burn. These kids were horrified, traumatized. And what good could they fucking do? They're kids.
Yeah.
Come on, aliens.
Well,
get your fucking shit together.
They have no agenda.
Aliens, if you're real.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, listen.
Find a better way, fuckers.
I know.
You figure it out.
Or find a
man.
better mind wiping technique. You can make it to Earth, but you can't fucking find a way
And there's
to do that.
very specific minds you can wipe or change that will make, I don't know, say people believe in fucking climate change.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get political, but it's pretty fucking easy if you want to make these changes and they're so goddamn important to you. Target.
That's not how they do
Yeah.
it. They got to find someone that's sort of related to a janitor there, and then they do it that way.
Yeah.
It's that 5D chess game.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Reverse chess mixed with Twister.
Yes.
Excuse me.
It's
tongue tied.
All right, let's find out what happened
Criminals.
post.
It gets fucking weirder.
Whatever.
It really does get weirder.
Oh, okay.
All right. It was at this point that the alien showed Spencer a second film. But when Dr. Singleton, probably London After Midnight, the lost print, Lon Chaney film. But when Dr. Singleton asked what the content of the film was, his patient refused to answer, stating, "I'm not supposed to tell anyone about the other film. It's not for them to know." Whatever the fuck that means.
Oh, that could get
You know what?
saucy.
Yeah, alien porn.
on.
Wow.
Yeah, 8mm loops. Of world leaders.
Yeah.
That's what they do at the big conferences. Bilderberg orgy.
I was gonna say this goes back to that was it Molech or whatever at what was the name of that shit the Bilderberg group goes there. Everyone right now is screaming this at me.
Yeah, like the owl campsite or whatever.
Yeah, I can't. Oh my God, Bohemian Grove.
Nailed
I
it.
didn't even know we were talking. Owl camp. I'm like,
no. That's the Illuminati summer camp.
Yeah, they have all that footage there, and they showed it to this guy, and he's like, "Fuck."
It's fucked up though. Like, all right, so you get the first film, which is exactly what everyone fucking gets, as we just discussed, and then you get the second film, and he's like, "Yeah, but they said I can't," which is very Zanfretta-esque in the sense
Right.
that, like, "Oh no, I can't tell you where the orb is. I can't tell you. I'm going to give you the orb. I got no orb. Fuck it, orb."
yeah, that one was fucking
Yeah.
tornado,
Yeah.
or it could be
Yeah.
spaghetti. I don't
Yeah,
know.
who knows?
Fucking keep it on the ground. Don't touch it.
Tornado or spaghetti in the mornings.
You could sharpen your pencils or kill your whole family. I don't know.
At this point, one of the creatures asked their abductee if he understood what he was seeing. Spencer said yes, and it told him it was time to go. Suddenly, everything went black, and without warning, Spencer found himself once again walking the moors, but he wasn't alone. When he looked up, Spencer saw one of the greenish beings walking away from him. He shouted after it, and the creature turned and waved as if saying goodbye. It would be at this point that the amateur photographer snapped his fateful photo. So that's important.
Oh, that's interesting.
He thought as he approached it, the thing was like threateningly gesturing at him, and then ran over a hill and disappeared.
No, it's just
Oh,
like,
he was waving
Now it's just
goodbye.
like,
see you
"See you,
later.
Bill."
Cue sad music
super
credits.
fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the end of every Toho Godzilla film from the Showa era,
Right,
where
right.
everyone stands on the ridge
And they
waving
wave to Godzilla.
to the radioactive nightmare
Yeah.
that leukemia all of
Yeah.
Tokyo.
Oh man. Oh, all right. Well, all right. Well, there's
There it is.
That's a thing, man. All right. Cool.
Spencer, as he had always recalled, then took off after the being, desperately wanting to know what it really was. But the entity rapidly made its way over the hill and into the swiftly ascending saucer before the ex-copper could catch him. So that played out exactly like he thought it did.
Right.
It's just the missing time portion happened between seeing the first one, then getting human ballooned into the UFO, and then that.
Yeah.
If, again, you'd believe what's happening here. Intriguingly, Spencer's hypnotically induced testimony helped Howe to clarify a glaring problem he'd discovered about the Ilkley Moor image, that being that the atmospheric conditions would not have allowed him to take that specific picture at the time that was initially claimed. However, if the photo had been snapped an hour or so later, as Spencer now contended, the lighting and environmental conditions would have been perfectly suited to the image as it existed. Again, I don't know how he confirmed this. I don't know. I don't know if he's got like 1,700 meteorologists in his ass pocket like everybody else.
Don't know what that means.
Yeah.
really.
How do you even figure that out?
I mean, I'm sure there's a way to figure out time of day, and if you know, like, say, because it only happened, like, say, a couple weeks before the weather of that specific day,
Right.
and how overcast it was at that point or not. This is me speculating and I guess playing anti-devil's advocate, trying to figure out how he could have done it. Maybe there is a way. I don't specifically know, but this is what Howe claimed, so there it is. I'm just presenting it. Spencer and Howe would go on to become good friends as the years passed, and almost in confirmation of the fact that Spencer never hoped to monetize his experience, he signed over all copyright privileges to Howe in early 1988.
That's interesting.
Oh God, what movie did they make that he lost out on?
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, really? Yeah, they just totally took this dude's shit. All right.
Yeah, like he gave no fucks. Over the decades, Spencer's story, strange as it was, never changed. Unlike many others with the courage to reveal their encounters with alien intelligences, he managed to remain a respected member of his community, with many believing him based solely on his word. That having been said, the blurry image remains one of the most controversial artifacts of an alleged alien abduction in existence, and to this day, the debate about its authenticity continues unabated.
No.
And that is the Ilkley Moor alien.
Yeah, there it is. And again,
Ilkley. I always say it fucked up.
Yeah.
the image will be in the link
Ilkley.
of this podcast, or will be in the description of this podcast.
We should
so
throw
you
in
can
like
check it out.
the original like wide one, then the median one they show, and then that crazy black and white high contrast one.
Yeah, that's
You're
definitely
right.
Because I mean, the more you blow it up, the more easy it is to see, and the more fucked up
Yeah.
and non-reliable it becomes.
when you're looking at it, it's,
I don't think the close up does it any justice really, because it just gets more grainy and you don't really know what you're seeing.
Well,
Then pareidolia happens.
Pareidolia definitely happens.
Yeah.
But when you
so-
look at like a high contrast medium shot, it definitely looks like that doesn't look like a tree. That doesn't look like bramble. That doesn't
No.
look like scrub. That is either some weird ass paper mache fuck all that for whatever reason somebody put there and then dosed the cop so he thought he had a balloon man experience, or that the cop was ex-cop was involved in the hoax of, even though he made no money off of it, or that's an object that's moving.
Yeah, it's hard, man.
Well,
It's
yeah,
hard
because
to-
it looks so goddamn shitty.
the original
Yeah,
one
it's
is
weird.
just so fucking bad. Like, it's so bad.
And it's barely humanoid. I mean, it's humanoid in the way, I guess, like a periodola cactus can be humanoid.
That's exactly
if you
what the
carved
original
out a
one-
crotch.
That's what I was thinking was like some kind of. Obviously, I don't think there's any
But no, not,
cactuses in the Moor.
not on the moors of Britain. No.
that would be weird, huh? Yeah, that's
That's the thing about this. This is what makes it controversial. It looks too ridiculous to be real, but that doesn't mean it isn't.
no, not at all. I mean, that's an actual photo of an alien would look ridiculous.
Now take more. I mean, sure, chase it down like you did,
Yeah.
but take more, because if you saw this thing in alternate positions, if you saw the arms bending, like one of my favorite, and I still wish you took more photos of something cryptozoological, are the Miyaka, I'm probably going to say it wrong, skunk ape photos from, I believe, the 1990s. An anonymous woman took them, sent them to the police station. And if it was one, it could have been a model. It could have been a stuffed orangutan that was, whatever. But there's two, and it moved. Now, that doesn't 100% mean it's not a hoax. It still could have been a really well-made costume or something. But that really helps helps me to believe that it could be something biological. It's always a wicked pisser. We talked not that long ago about how fucking pissed I am that there's only one fucking Manzi photo of Champ. Like, it's there. You've got fucking film.
Take more photos.
Take all
right.
Take all the photos. Who cares? Who cares about your family reunion? Buy another fucking roll. and I can say the same about this. Dude, Spence, come on, man.
Yeah.
I know.
You've got fucking film to spare.
Well, I mean, then
click,
again...
Click.
He apparently, this is post-abduction. This is the say goodbye, as Chris said.
But he still chased it.
Yeah.
He still could have done it. Like, regardless of when it happened, if this is real... and this thing was truly a living, animate entity, what the fuck are you doing? Take all the photos you can.
Yeah. All right. So we discussed this earlier, but yes, this is the typical alien take you into the ship and tell you how humans are, ruining the world and
fucking up
destroying
the program.
everything.
That's the deal.
And in typical alien fashion, you erase all of this stuff, and then it has to come out through hypnotic regression. I just don't understand why they can't be straight up with us. Just be like, tell us the shit. Just do it. Why does it always have to be this fucking super complicated process that automatically makes you look at the person experience and be like, this person is not in their fucking right mind? Like, why does it have to be
even people
a thing?
like us that are open-minded, we still look at this and we're like, oh,
because it doesn't make sense.
Because it doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
And so that's why this is kind of why I get why, like, Keel and so many others go from being ufologists or cryptozoologists to Forteans and or paranormalists, in the sense that, like, you study enough of this. Even I am subject to it. Like, I was hard. You guys always know, like, when this all started, when we started building American Monsters, Mark, I was just like, these are just undiscovered animals. That's all that's happening here.
Yeah,
There's just reported indigenous animals that people see that have not been chronicled by science. Booyah. It's just zoology extra, zoology plus cryptozoology,
Well, sure.
And I still am into that, and I still believe that there are unknown creatures. There's, Oran Pendek and sea creatures we can't fathom. But the more you get into this, the more you study, you have to accept one of two realities. Either everyone's full of fucking shit, or it is a fucked up quantum kind of consciousness that is existing and can create, like, little slices of reality and creatures that we can't even begin to process in a typical, straightforward, scientific fashion.
You throw that fucking that Magonia on the table, and there you go. Everything's fucking blowing up. It's just.
I mean, the problem is
nothing you can do.
Don't really know what people are actually seeing or what they're going. I think people believe they have experiences, but, like, when people say, we know a lot of people who have some sort of paranormal experience.
Absolutely.
Or they remember, like, I remember one time I looked upstairs and I saw a kid or something. Sure. And it's like 20 years ago or whatever, and it's like,
it was my son.
It's like, I don't not believe these people. I don't think that any of them are making
lying.
things up, but I'm like, can you actually say for certain that that what you remember, that's what you saw? Right?
Of course,
and
that
is
makes
that what
that's
that
difficult.
is?
Yes.
Right? So I believe most people have something happen, but I just, what do you do? I mean,
No, you're right. That's part of the fucking
but
problem.
when they whacked out like this.
But here's the thing, and this is what I always say, and this is what fucks me up. All it takes is one UFO to be an anomalous object that's piloted by an alien intelligence. By alien, I mean from anywhere. Who the fuck knows? One, weird animal. One fucking spectral poltergeist interaction that is unexplainable. I mean, I know a lot of it, I think, is, attributable to, especially young women going through, like, big body changes, having psychic projections, but maybe something else. All it takes is one of any of these, just one, and then it's real. And then that's fucked up. And if one is real, and any of these things, be it ghosts, UFOs, fucking cryptozoology, whatever,
confirmed
then it's like, well,
for sure.
fuck.
Yeah.
Well, fuck, what does that do to... And I still believe, as I've always believed, as I think all three of us do and most of our listeners probably do, all of it is going to be quantifiable at some point. At some point, there will be science that will be able to describe either why brains react this way and see these things because of, like, magnetic, influences or whatever,
right.
or why, how things can slip through dimensions or whatever. All of it is going to be science. But right now, because like Arthur C. Clarke said, if it's a science sufficiently advanced, it looks like magic. It seems like magic to us because that shit hasn't gotten there.
Yeah.
And I do know that like scientists in the 70s especially, they had parapsychology. I mean, that whole thing in Ghostbusters with like a branch of parapsychologists working at a university.
Oh, yeah, no, that
was fairly commonplace.
Yeah, that was a thing.
Legit. And ESP was obviously the thing they looked into the most, the power of the human mind, which is still incredible. And I still am impressed by remote viewing in a lot of things. And they don't do that anymore because they felt like it was a waste of fucking money and it diminished credibility, whatever. I find bullshit on that. But I do think a lot of these things deserve it. But I also understand why it's frustrating for a scientist. You need repeatable, experimental fucking
that's
situations
how it works.
to confirm or deny something. And it becomes impossible to fucking know. And so we live in a world now where the government finally acknowledges UFOs are real. Something I never thought we'd live to see. Fundamentally changes nothing.
We have videos all the time now.
Maybe more science are gonna scientists, certainly more scientists are interested and gonna do something, and it's made skeptics harden their fucking beliefs even more, saying, oh, it doesn't mean anything, it's artifacts in the sky, it's fucking rogue balloons, it's fucking tinfoil on the air. And they're right some of the times. But not all the times, and if they're wrong once, then fuck.
There was recently a story about the guy with the jetpack that the airliners kept seeing.
Yeah,
and then it turned out it was like this balloon of Jack Skellington that was just like.
Dude, it's funny. Somebody posted that picture. Yeah, and I'm like, that is clearly like a Jack Skellington balloon.
Yeah, but when it's moving,
it's clearly not.
If you don't know the movie, I guess maybe you're like, what the fuck?
When the balloon's moving super fast, you're like, looks kind of like a dude in a jetpack.
Right.
But so anyway, it's fucking.
Almost everything is explicable. That's
totally,
the thing.
Yeah.
But not everything. And so let's get back to Ilkley Moor.
Skeptically speaking here with this, like, all right, if this guy is going to just, pose some kind of weird paper mache ET or whatever.
Then why?
And get a picture of it and go through all of this and have all these resources through this ufologist put into it. And then he signs the rights away. So he's not like, unless him and this other dude were like in cahoots trying to make $1 million here, but he signed everything away and nothing happened with it.
True.
So he really stands nothing to gain. Though surprisingly, this is one case where the guy afterward didn't suffer any negative effects from people around him.
At least according to reports.
Right.
Yeah. He's gotten bashed on the internet, to be sure.
Well, it's the internet. Everybody.
Anybody who's remotely known,
We've seen your comments on Reddit. So, yeah. But even like poor Harrison Bailey from last week's episode.
God,
that guy just caught a raft of shit.
Yeah.
Totally.
So... But I just don't see an angle here where this guy has anything to gain. I guess maybe you're known as the dude that got the picture of the weird alien.
Yeah, but that kind of notoriety is not the kind you fucking want. That's not.
If you're going to make money off of it,
it's not like you're the guy that filmed the crashing of the Hindenburg, tragic though it was, and you're like, oh my God, or Zapruder. You filmed the Kennedy assassination. Again, tragic as it was, you made history. You're always going to be identified as this person that filmed this epochal moment.
Yeah.
You're just this dude that has one grainy photo of this fucked up thing on the fucking moors.
And then it turns into this weird hypnotic regression where we're right back to typical alien bullshit.
Like you said, the one thing that I could buy as a hoax is if him and Howe were in it together. Howe had all these resources to have it checked out. And bear in mind, we don't know what magnetized the goddamn compass.
Yeah.
There's no radiation there.
It seems like a colossal waste of time and resources.
Yeah, unless they were planning on writing a book. Because back then, you could write a book and make some money. Amityville, there was definitely incidents of paranormal books blown out. Right. And if they're popular enough, but then it still wasn't that good. Like, if you're going to construct something, you're going to tell a better story than I floated like a balloon. They put me aboard. I got to see home movies of Earth's destruction. A ball gave me shit and wanted my compass.
Yeah, a ball with blocks on
yeah.
it somehow.
The ball told everyone to leave.
Yeah,
Don't
I like
take orders from a ball.
Ball said, "Get the fuck out."
Yeah.
So we had to get the fuck out.
Yeah, so you had to get the fuck out.
And leave.
Like the eye from Explorers, except with no eye. It's just fucking hanging out. It's like, get out of here. You
All
can't
right.
stay.
Everybody shuffles out of the room in disappointment. Son
I
of a
guess we're going
bitch.
to leave through this anus.
No one turned the gravity well on. Fuck. Yeah,
So, it's not really that compelling of a story.
Yeah, he doesn't. I don't
No,
know.
but also the thing about the hypnotic stuff is, who knows whether they actually are or not.
Sure.
I guess only hypnotists would be able to tell if you actually are hypnotized or not. I don't
Right.
fucking know.
Yeah, how does that work?
But
I don't know who
it also
fucking
takes, like,
determines.
Like faking an orgasm or something? Like
I'm sure you can.
tell? Like,
I don't. If you're a hypnotist, I guess you can tell. I wouldn't fucking know. But it does take a little bit of the weight off you if you're like, I don't remember stuff, and you go to a hypnotist, and they're the ones that bring the story out of you. It's not like you telling the story of your own volition,
Right.
Originally,
I see, right.
something that's fucking whacked
And, no,
out,
and
because
at-
that makes a difference.
At the time, I remember well pop culture. It was still certainly not accepted by academics as something like a reasonable and responsible practice. But I think a lot of Americans were like, yeah, you get hypnotized, you just tell the truth. You access this part of your brain,
No,
you tell the fucking truth.
It's
That's
quicksand protocol.
That's exactly.
You're gonna fucking find quicksand. You get
100%.
hypnotized. You can anything from birth to
Right.
now. You
Yep,
can just pull
recall
out your
with
brain.
instant clarity.
Yeah.
Yep. Or you can quit anything, or you can fucking
Yeah.
do whatever, or you can mesmer someone into murdering for you. Whatever
Yep.
the fuck hypnotists want to do, they can do. They were nearly omnipotent according to pop culture. By the late 80s, that myth was starting to break.
Yeah.
But it was still kind of intact.
Yeah.
So I can see where you would, if you're trying to hoax something, you would do that to add legitimacy at the time. But again, I don't
'cause if
see
it's
it
the-
here. Because here's the other thing. If Howe has the fucking money and connections to get the University of Manchester technology to look at the compass and this other fucking place to do radiation and get Kodak to do film testing, you can build a better fucking model than this.
Yeah.
One of the things that makes me think there might be something to this is how shitty this thing looks.
if it was a model, it was
Because
done-
if you're
pretty
going
bad,
to
yeah.
fake it,
Yeah, it's really
oh
bad.
my God, you can do better.
Yeah.
You really can. By 88, that's what, 8 years after they made John Carpenter's The Thing?
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
7 years
Star-
after E.T.
Star Wars,
That's
yeah.
fucking over 10 years, or 87 when he took the picture, 10 years after Close Encounters. Come on.
It doesn't
You
have.
can, if you got some
88's
resources.
pretty you can do stuff.
Yeah,
in
you can
88.
do stuff in
You
88.
would think it.
Yeah.
I mean, unless they purposely are like, we're going to make it grainy and all fucked up, and just let the power of the camera give you the image that you want to have. But it just
Or
yeah,
this
it
guy's
was-
one of the all-time great hoaxsters, and he just gets off on it. But that's it. And
Yeah.
that seems dubious to me, too.
No, I just-
most of it does. I mean, I think that. I think I can say this for all of us here, that we do believe a majority of these alien encounters. It's just
Absolutely.
the steps going up to it, and then having to look at it and take it apart a little bit to be like, what angle could it possibly have here? I don't really see much here, except maybe that he signed the rights away, which is kind of weird. Like, why would you sign the rights away?
Because you don't give a fuck about making money?
It's kind of bizarre that the guy would ask for the. Well, I guess if the guy put all the money and time into the research to get Kodak or whoever invested, then all right, I guess maybe you would want to have the.
Or Howe's like, I'm going to get the book deal. I'm going to get the
Right.
movie rights. You sign those pictures to me, man. We got a
Yeah.
handshake, or
Yeah.
even maybe some piece of paper that they both signed where it's like, you're going to get 50-50. Just give me the photos. Let me do what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe, it was a hoax and he got raked over the coals and he was too embarrassed to admit it.
Or how
I don't think that's the case,
unless-
but it's a possibility.
Unless maybe Howe just drove this into the ground to try to make money off of it, to try to monetize.
Yeah,
it
but he
somehow.
didn't.
Exactly.
That's the
yeah,
thing.
That's the thing. Exactly. Again, it goes back to that. Like, there's nothing here that really makes.
And here's the
sense.
other thing. We can't hold it against eyewitnesses or investigators
No, not
that
at all.
aliens are illogical dickbags. We just can't hold it against them. Like, now maybe, again, you were talking about 5D chess. Maybe they're on such a level that we can't fathom. Like, I think I've mentioned this before, but maybe they're approaching people that seem to be, I don't mean inconsequential as human beings, but inconsequential historically.
Right.
Because they have some idea of, like, if we plant these bits of information here, here, and here, this is going to grow into the tree we want. especially if they have access to like time travel technology or whatever, and they understand that this needs to be put here, this needs to be put here, and all of these things are going to like collapse like dominoes in the direction they want. If that's going on, then there's no way we could know. Then it makes sense that they're not talking to Ronald Reagan in fucking 84.
It's so far beyond us at that point.
Yeah,
it's just like,
I mean, that's I don't know about that one.
It's like such a long.
listen,
I know exactly what you're saying.
I get
but
it's
like,
a magic whale. I understand that it's bullshit, and that to say that is like, oh my God, you've just totally abdicated any responsibility to science or logic. On the other hand, we can't say for sure.
No, well, of course you can't.
You can't.
Because time travelers are one of the things that, you know, a lot of people think aliens might be.
Totally.
I mean, they're bipedal. They're basically humanoid. A lot of people think grays are what we are in the future, and the reason they want to hybridize with us is because they're fucked genetically, so they're going back to a earlier strain of themselves to make them a little more hardy.
Yeah, there's no sex organs, is there?
You know, who the fuck knows? Or maybe they're suits, for all we know. I mean, who knows?
We lost them, Chris. They're gone.
I feel like, you know, it probably. I mean, that one at least is grounded in something of science. That theory,
Right.
Sure.
Right.
But I'm just saying, if they are time
hardly against
travelers,
that, but-
then maybe they are implanting seeds that they know have to be planted. And the weirdest people that make no fucking sense, like fucking, you know, Harrison Bailey has got to see fucking frogs and scuttlebugs and two dudes with flat faces, and they've got to ask him some really inane shit, and he's got to shit his pants and get ancient organs. Why? Just that's the way. Trust. If that doesn't happen like that,
that's what I'm saying. It's such a weird
Yeah,
game.
but I mean,
and
like,
then, you know, the
weird
Pascagoula guys, they have to be stopped while they're fishing, and
Yeah.
fucking Kelvin Parker has to have like 19 years of panic attacks. That poor kid until he finally comes around in his 60s to do the convention circuit, and thank God he's good enough to do it now because he was ruined for fucking decades.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like why do a mind wipe just to have them the possibility that maybe they'll go see a hypnotist, then bring out the fucking truth,
or they don't want the truth to come out. They want these little implantations for what reason? Because so some random fuck can just feel the brunt of humanity's failings for no good reason. These poor bastards.
I feel like
when I call him a random fuck, I say that out of pity. I'm not just
you poor random fuck. I feel like
you random fuck. You don't deserve this.
If your tech is good enough to come from the future,
Right.
and play 46,000 D chess,
Yes.
and you don't want fucking people to remember, then your tech either blows or you're fucking up big time,
Right.
all the time. Get it together,
Or
and
we just don't get it.
And if they went back to the future, they would know that they're fucking up because these stories keep coming out.
Or maybe
and
they're
still not doing.
Because
Or
if they
maybe
go
they're
back
not.
to the future and it's working out, then all this bullshit that makes no sense to us is exactly the plan.
Or it's not, and it's just a mistake, and it just happens to be better.
Or maybe the
But if
future
they
is
keep-
what it is.
if they keep
and you
fucking
have
it
to,
up.
and you have to fuck up the past in that certain way, or you could get it. It could become more dystopian or more shitbaggery. So you have to do certain dumb shit that makes no more sense to you than it does to us. But if you don't do it, you fuck up the future. Time is weird.
And here we are blasting it out on the internet. There it is. Thank you all so very much for joining us. The Cryptonaut Podcast. Oh, what do we offer, guys? How do I close the show again?
Patreons.
Yeah, we got the Patreon.
Patreon.com/Cryptonaut Podcast. $1 is the shout out and one bonus audio. The $5 is the shout out.
Wait, do you mean you get a shout out and a whole extra pod for a single dollar a month?
See, what else can you get for $1?
Jeez,
Robert?
you can't even get a double cheeseburger for that anymore
No.
at McDonald's.
And if you do go there, the one near Chris on the arterial, only the drive-through is open, and the other one will fuck your order up so bad they don't even bother doing it. But you're right.
Don't run mine fucks the order up anyway.
Oh, does it? Mm-hmm. Okay, I haven't been to McDonald's.
All
forever,
McDonald's
so.
and Auburn's fuck up everything.
Okay,
all the time.
Well, you know,
Go to Burger King.
But that's not the point.
Yeah,
the point
exactly.
is, what
Sponsor
else
us, Burger
can you
King, please.
get?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'd love that. Just sponsor us in food.
Please,
but,
Jesus
but seriously, what else do you get for a buck?
And for the $5, you get the shout out and you get the bonus audio.
How
no
many?
more than 4.
That's right.
I mean,
Except.
But
even though-
literally, except when you get the 5.
Except that
we broke the rule.
we broke it in October and we're going to break it in November. But this is
Oh,
a temporary
shit.
rule break.
That's true.
This is not something that will be happening all the time. So
But
don't
we
get
have
too
never
excited.
really done in recent months less than 4.
No, right.
No, we've always done 4.
We're pretty fucking dedicated to the 4.
I mean, Patreon is how we support the show. It's
true.
The people.
We really appreciate all the
Yeah,
support
I mean,
you
it's-
get. I mean, if you can't totally get it, because I understand.
Yeah.
I've lived on ramen for years of my life, so I understand. Thank you for just listening. But if you can and you do, you're the fucking tizzy poop.
Exactly.
Tizzy poop.
And when you join the Patreon, you get access to the Discord. Oh, the Discord server, Hell or
The
Space.
special magical clandestine community.
Both of those tiers get you access, so be sure to check it out. I can help you connect that up if you have any issues. The social medias, boys, we're on there. We're doing it.
Yep.
It's happening.
The Facebook group is a place that is probably the best place on Facebook to go.
It is, honestly.
So do it.
Yeah, check
They're
it out
the coolest
there.
people.
Totally.
It's the most fun that
Yeah,
I
it's
ever
dope.
have on that platform.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Hands down, the most fun I ever have on that platform.
The Facebook fan group, the Facebook page, the Instagram,
The
the Twitter, and
Friendster.
Yeah,
Yep.
MySpace.
MySpace.
We should get a MySpace page, Chris. Would you mind running the MySpace page for this?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Chris is going to run
Does
the
that
MySpace
really still
page.
exist?
I
I'm
don't
gonna
even
try to bring it back.
know.
Holy shit, that's funny.
I am going to try to bring it back.
I just saw Chris's
Yeah,
eyes.
I know. He got the
just-
twinkle. Yeah.
I just saw it. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm bringing it back. I'm doing it.
I'm fucking doing it.
It was
I-
almost like that Killer Lion fucking musical.
Yeah.
Like that same sparkle in his
Yeah.
eye. Like,
Oh, God.
yeah, what was that
Fucking
called?
doing it.
Jesus Christ, that was
Bring it
great.
back. I'm going to fucking bring
Oh,
it
yeah,
back.
what was that?
Lion Village? I don't even remember anymore.
Liontown?
Oh, Liontown.
Oh,
That's
Liontown.
right.
Lion
All right.
Village.
There
I'm
you go.
always this close
That's
and
right.
never right.
I forgot about Liontown.
Come on, the Gauntlet of Criminals,
I know.
the music, the fucking
Well,
predatorial cats.
we
How could
have-
you forget about
I wrote a
Liontown?
song about it.
Don't let Liontown out of the bag
All
yet.
right, all right,
Jesus
put it back in. I'm
Christ.
sorry.
A decade in the making.
Yeah,
everything
Jesus.
is.
Come
The good stuff
on.
is always decade.
My God.
And I want to also mention really quick that I might have done an interview for an undisclosed network
Ooh.
on a topic that is paranormal that I'm not allowed to speak of specifically yet, but in the months to come when that shit becomes a little more clear and it's about to get released, we'll let you guys know. But it was pretty exciting.
Yeah, I'm
pretty
stoked.
exhausting and wonderful 5 hours of interviewing, and I
I'm
think it'll be pretty
excited.
dope.
Uncle Bobby's going to be on the old big screen in
Yeah,
the living room.
my big old
I am
bald head and my big old beard
I am
hanging
super-
out on your fucking cable stations.
super excited to see that. Before we go, we do want to give a very special shout out here to Mr. Ryan Mills from A Random Shoppy on Etsy. Now, Ryan has sent us stuff before.
Yes, he has.
His work is fucking awesome.
I have his
Yeah, it's dope.
Mothman, and the Mothman's on my bookshelf, and you know what it's holding? That little plumbus you gave me from Rick and Morty.
Oh, yeah.
So I got a
Nice,
Mothman
the
with a and I've got
plumbus.
the fucking Sam the Sandown and my
Yeah.
favorite coffee mug again on my prominent shelf.
Dude,
He's so
Ryan-
fucking talented; it's unbelievable.
We're going to have a link in the description of this podcast for his shop. He's always so cool, and he sends the stuff. And yeah, man, we got some dope. We got some ornaments. Dude, we got a
Krampus.
The Grampus isn't even on the site yet.
I love that.
I'm getting a picture of
It
the
is dope.
Grampus. It's
It is-
super
it is
cool.
in a gnarly old tree. You
Oh,
know
yeah.
it's in a cemetery
It's
somewhere in Britain,
super
and it's gonna
dope.
it's gonna dolphin its way to the Mediterranean
for sure.
and it's
for
certainly
sure.
gonna chase a virgin or two.
Yeah, and thank you, Ryan, for sending that. And
You're the best,
By all
Ryan.
means, check out his shop. Order some stuff from him. I've seen a bunch of people posting pictures and like
And we
leaving
got some
reviews.
super awesome Christmas ornaments too
Yeah,
from him.
yeah,
Of
and
the
we got some
splotches and the
UFOs.
flatwoods
UFOs
and the
are
UFOs.
dope.
That's why we need our Krampus, not Grampus, Krampus tree to hang these sweet ass
Totally.
Yeah, we're gonna do it.
crypto alien ornaments.
Yeah, he also sent a frogman that I currently have that I'll be bringing.
Oh, I can't wait.
The Loveland frog is pretty fucking killer. So
It's dope as shit,
It
man.
is dope. Ryan, thank you so much. There you have it. Thank y'all so very much.
Oh,
for
and the
joining
Nessie.
us. Oh, yes,
I
there's
can't forget
Nessie.
the
I almost
Nessie.
forgot the Nessie. Yes,
I've
there
got
it
it sitting
is.
right here. It's half submerged in water, and you see its back and its tail and its sweet head. Oh, it
Yeah.
made me so happy to
It
see
is
this.
super cool.
So thank you.
Thank y'all so very much, and I'm talking to you soon.
Yeah, keep it real, aliens. Stop fucking around. Stop fucking around.
Come correct.
If you are us in the future, cut us some fucking slack.
Yeah,
At
Jesus.
least tell people like, all right, if you can't tell the people you abduct because you have to implant them with weird thoughts and evil fucking images of our destruction of the world, fine. But the rest of us that aren't necessarily participating in this program, can't you abduct us occasionally and be like, here's the deal, guys. This fucking sucks. We don't want to have to do it. We have to do
Sorry.
it. This is the thing.
That's too
You know,
easy.
otherwise we're not going to get like future Dexter on Showtime. It won't happen if we don't fuck up 1,000 lives. So here's the deal. Future Dexter.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Perfect.
Future Dexter.
Let us know. Let us know if you want
Yeah,
us to
let us
know.
know.
Or if
Honestly.
you don't want us to fucking know.
Yeah, I don't want to be a part of your bullshit program. If an alien ever told me, like, you know, Rob, you got to tell the world, la la, you have a platform. And oddly enough, any of us would be one of the better people because we actually do have, granted minor, but we have a platform. I'd still be like, fuck you, fuck you,
Yeah.
fuck you.
But except doesn't
because
matter
I know it's bullshit.
You're going to fucking forget it anyway.
Yeah, you're right.
So they just-
until I get hypnotized.
They're like, here's all this fucking information, 17 middle fingers, because you're not going to remember. And then you're like, I don't know, I feel like I had a dream of middle fingers in space. Oh. And then you get hypnotized and they're all up your
in
butt.
space.
Oh my God.
All right.
They're all up your butt.
We'll be talking to you soon.
Bye.
Oh, well, that ending is going to go down in podcast history.